Hey, how's it going everybody, and welcome back to another Fallout 4 mod throwback. So, the reason we're making this video today is because one of the questions I get asked all the time is, Dak, how do you get your ghouls to shamble the way that they shamble? How do you get ghouls to travel in these big hordes? And in general, just how do you get the ghouls to look and behave the way that they look in your game? And it's a combination of mods, but the biggest thing is the Zombie Walkers mod. Now, before we get into all of the details of that mod, I do want to say really quickly, the whole intention of this mod throwback series that we've been doing is to go back and check out older mods, and I think this is a great opportunity. Zombie Walkers obviously is one that not many people know about anymore, as I get asked about it all the time. And it is an older mod. It used to be well known, and it just kind of fell off, so I'm going back to cover it again. Now, because of that, I think this is a great platform to kind of check out mods that you've seen in the past, or maybe you want to revitalize in some way. So if there's a mod that you really enjoy that's just rich and full of content, feel free to drop it in the comments, and who knows, maybe I'll take a look at it and we can do it for a future mod throwback. I've still got plenty of mods in my load order that I want to go back and cover at some point for you guys, but if there's anyone in particular that you've been really wanting a video on that's older, feel free to let me know and I'd be happy to take a look at it. Alright, sorry for taking any more of your time, let's get right into the video. So the Zombie Walkers mod is not exactly misleading in its title, it just has so many features. You can have it be zombies if you want, or you can keep it ghouls. You can do really anything you want with it. Anything that would affect the Feral Ghoul NPC can be done with this mod, at least in some way or another. Now, this isn't for retextures or mesh changes or anything like that. This is a purely behavioral mod. So this is going to change the way that the ghouls behave and function. And there are just so many utilities. It's not a download this and now the ghouls act this way. No, this is a platform for you to create the ghouls to your favorite experience. And so I'm going to walk through all of those cool settings with you today. So for starters, I think the best place to start is the MCM, because this mod does come with mod configuration menu support, which is obviously a great plus, especially when you have so many settings. Now, Zombie Walkers, right off the bat, if you notice and you watch my Survivor series, or if ghouls ever show up in my mod reviews, you know that they're still called ghouls, because that's an option. It's up to you. If you want to make a zombie load order, which by the way is a mod bundle that we're going to be doing at some point in the future, you can name it Zombie. Or, if you're me, and you really wanted them to be zombies, I would probably name them Walkers, similar to The Walking Dead. But for me personally, I'm playing Fallout. I do want to change the behaviors of my ghouls, but I'd still want them to be ghouls, so I leave their name the same. So, max effective level will change the level cap of the ghouls, and if you set it to -1, that actually means that it's unlimited, so they will always level with you and get stronger. Or, you can cap it at whatever you want. Experience is, I think, normally set to off, but I have mine at 100%. I think the idea being that you can use this mod to spawn a lot of ghouls, and so having no experience means you can't farm them super easily, but I think that's silly. I'm wasting my ammo on them, I should at least get some experience, so you can change that to whatever you want. You could have it be 50%, 0%, or 100%, however. And then you also have the option to add loot or no loot, for the same reason I just said. There's so many ghouls now, potentially, that having them all with loot could make it pretty easy to acquire loot, especially if you're going for a more hardcore gameplay. That, again, completely up to you, which is super cool. So another setting that's available is headshots only. So normally I have this actually set to off for me because in my game they're still ghouls, so you can kill them any traditional way by taking out their other organs. But if you turn this on, and we shoot these zombies, say, in the chest, just a minute here. There, you see that they just can't die, even though his health is that low. Nothing's gonna kill him until... until we get that headshot. So, that is a gameplay mechanic that you could put into your game, but that's just not for me. That's gonna add a little bit too much of a complex situation, at least for my load order, but now everybody's different, so feel free to turn that one on if that's something that you want to be using. Like I said, for me personally, I have so many walkers in my game, it's supposed to be more of attrition sort of situation, so I don't want to have to worry about a headshot on every single one of them, and mine are ghouls, like I said. You also have a health modifier here, so you can have 100% of their normal health, or you can turn it down if you want them to be weaker, which is interesting. I don't see the point of that if you're going for headshots only, so it's interesting that these are in the same category, but whatever you want to do. For offense, you can change how much damage the ghouls do, as well as their speed, their perception, and their finishing moves. So here's my settings for the way they look in my game, but you can tweak these to your liking, of course. Damage multiplier, I have the 1. I want them to do the exact same damage as they would do normally. For speed, I actually have that to 99. I found this to be the perfect speed that I've liked in my load order. However, if you notice, it says that setting it to 70 and under will use the actual walk animation, so that's why mine look a little bit jittery sometimes, but this is the speed I like. I feel like it's the most balanced. I can outrun them, but if I dilly-dally, they will catch up to me. Of course, you can throw this way up there if you want some really fast zombies, or way down there if you want them to be super slow. And actually, setting it to -1 will make it random per feral ghoul, so each one you encounter will walk at a different speed or run at a different speed, and that could make it even scarier. We have a perception bonus, which will make it easier or harder for them to detect you. And then for finishing moves, I have it disabled so that they can't just lunge into you because you're at a certain percentage of health and then it instantly kill you. That's just kind of silly, especially when you're going to get swarmed with as many as I have on. That's kind of ridiculous. For behavior, now we can choose some really fun stuff like the horde size. So now hordes will start wandering around as opposed to just standing still. And you can set the size of that. I have mine set to 15. However, there are ways to get even more with some other settings. So you can change that to as high or low as you want based on the difficulty of your load order. You can add in extra noise attraction so that they will start wandering towards noises. And you can also set it so that they will eat their victim. So after you kill an enemy who is humanoid, they will start to eat the corpse. That, again, completely optional. It depends on if you're going for a ghoul or zombie situation. They have every setting in here just in case, so you can tweak it to your liking. Super, super cool stuff. For infection settings, we have enabled or disabled. I have mine disabled. This is more of a zombie load order thing. So if you have it turned on and you get scratched or attacked or bit by a zombie, let's say, you'll actually get infected and you need to be cured. Now, as a player, this will just result in your death, but for NPCs, it will actually cause them to turn into zombies, which is pretty sweet. We also have NPC Mortality, which can allow these zombies to kill protected and essential NPCs, which is kind of crazy that it'll just overwrite that. So be careful, because this can break quests. For player infection, you can have it enabled or disabled, and this will be separate. So you could have it so that NPCs get infected, but you don't. Maybe you're playing a game where you're the survivor who is actually immune. You have the chance that you get infected, and then you also have a cure chance. So you can get cured, but it's not guaranteed. Now, here's a really fun one that is also standalone that doesn't require infection to be turned on, and that is the player death alternative. Now, if you're watching my Survivor series, this is actually how it works in that series. If I die as a character, I will respawn as one of my settlers at one of my settlements. So, it is permadeath, but only for that character. And you'll need to go find your body, kill it, because it will be coming back as a zombie, and then take all your loot back, or it's gone forever. Now here's a really fun one. Spawn settings. So for the spawn limit, this will impose a soft cap on the number of zombies allowed to spawn in an area. I have mine set to 50, so I could be seeing 50 or more zombies in one area. We also have settlement attacks. We have the hourly chance and the maximum number of attackers, which can also be tweaked. I have mine set to 20. That's a pretty sizable force and a pretty big thing that you need to fight off. And then the hourly chance is obviously every hour that you are in a settlement, it'll make a check. So mine is at 5%, so there's a 5% chance every hour that zombies will attack my settlement. With this number, I see them just often enough, but not too often, so I like it pretty well. It seems about as often as any other settlement attack. Sleep interruption is a really fun one. You can make it so that every time you sleep, more specifically, every hour that you sleep, there is another check to see if you get interrupted during your sleep and attacked by zombies. Now, in my actual gameplay, I want that set very low, but just to show you what that looks like, we'll set it to 100. With 100% on, you actually have a guaranteed chance every time you sleep that you will be attacked in the night. So, we'll sleep for an hour and it will interrupt us with a zombie attack with that little loading screen. Now, because of the speed of my zombies, it's gonna take them a minute to get here, so we'll go ahead and wait for that. Here we go, it says that they are attacking. Oh, and there they are. They actually got here pretty quick this time. So, 20 zombies right here attacking our settlement. Pretty neat, and you can set that to be way bigger and way more often. So if you really want a zombie survival game, you can make these attacking all the time, really fast, and with numbers. And then another setting is extra spawns. So this will make zombies spawn around the world. So if you notice in my Survivor series, when we're walking around, there will always be these little tiny packs of ghouls. And they will actually just wander around. So that's because of this setting right here. The extra spawns will allow them to just exist out in the environment and outside of their normal spawn points. And the last setting is also super interesting, and that is spawn replacements. So you can replace just about any AI with ghouls or zombies if you're using a zombie load order. So replace the already dead. If somebody is dead, you can replace them with a zombie. So that means any dead NPC. That's kind of one that could be dangerous. Replace nearly visible, replace non-hostile, essential, protected, teammate, and unique. So this is essentially just going to replace any of those types of NPCs with a ghoul instead. So if you're really just trying to overrun your load order with ghouls only, you can do that. Here we also have some animal replacements. We have the chance to replace your mole rats, radstags, and mongrels, and then the replacement count. Now I have mine set to 0 because I still want to see those NPCs, but if you don't, you can replace them, and you can replace them with a chance. So maybe 50% of the time you'll see a mole rat, 50% of the time it'll be a ghoul, or you can do 100%, so it just fully replaces it. And you can also change the count. So changing it to 1 will mean 1 ghoul will replace it, or 2, or 3. Now for all of those creatures, here you see there, just all of the types of creatures, I have that set to 0, except feral ghouls. Zombies will always replace feral ghouls, but you can add more. So what I do is I set that to 3, and what that does is anytime 1 ghoul would appear in the game, instead 3 will appear. So if I spawn one here with my spawn grenade, you'll see that that 1 quickly turns into 3. And that is going to be the case with every single spawn of the feral ghouls. So I really like that one to add more numbers, and that's why you see situations where like I go into Super Duper Mart and there are just hordes of zombies, because you take whatever number was in there, multiply it by 3, and that's why there are so many. As we continue to scroll down through that menu, we'll see more types of creatures that you can replace, robots, deathclaws. A really interesting one is replacing skeletons. So anywhere that a skeleton existed in the game will now be a ghoul, and that's a lot of places, so that one's interesting, but you lose the skeletons in the game. I just have that one set to off. And then replace super mutants, synths, turrets, humans and ghouls, and then faction overrides. So you could literally have this so that the only NPC that ever spawns is a ghoul if you really want a zombie game. That's completely up to you. And that's pretty much it for all of those settings. I believe this mod also adds custom sounds. You'll notice that the ghouls sound a little bit different. Especially when they attack, they have some different attack noises. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm sorry this was probably a little bit boring of a video because it's mostly menu stuff, but that is a lot of what this mod has to offer. Most of the changes can't exactly be seen very easily as it's just behavior changes to the ghouls, but there you go. So yeah, that's the Zombie Walkers mod. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you want to try it for yourself, it will be linked down in the description. And I'm pretty sure this also has Xbox support, except instead of the MCM, you just use a holotape for all of these settings. So if you did enjoy this mod, or you've been using it for a while, go out there and support the mod author. Endorse, donate, anything you can just to show your appreciation for all of their hard work. And if you enjoyed this video, drop a like, subscribe, all that stuff that gets us into the algorithm and gets more mod recommendations to the people that are looking for them. I hope you found this video useful, at the very least informational. Again, it's not super high octane or action packed, but these settings are really cool and really important for those of you who want a proper zombie or ghoul overhaul, because you can tweak every bit of behavior. It's usually these kinds of mods that, while not super exciting to watch, they have all of the really necessary stuff to set up your game properly. So if you stuck through it, I appreciate it. Thank you for watching all the way till the end, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. Thanks for watching. Peace.